Hi, I'm just taking a walk. It's pretty dark. It's me. No road. Gosh, is it a beautiful evening. It feels like May, but it's the 16th of April. It almost has like a Country Time lemonade commercial feel in the air. I don't know. Maybe somebody that's listening might not be old enough to remember that commercial. But the commercial really captured the beautiful sentiment and ambiance of a summer in the early 80s, what it kind of felt like. Well, that's kind of what it feels like tonight, even though the energy really doesn't fit the concept of good sentiment or my nostalgia of the past. There's you know, a lot going on in the world. Well, you know, something about World War II is it actually started in 1939, and it was, you know, really building up since probably 35 or something, 37 for sure. But it started officially in 1939, World War II. You want to know the first year it was actually called World War II? 1945. So World War II, biggest war of the world, went on for 6 years before it was called World War II. Now we have perhaps World War III. And it just hasn't been called World War III yet. Could it be? Just think about that. That's interesting. I mean, there's enough going on in the world right now where we can't just write it off as another conflict. I mean, it looks as though we're going to have some big world conflict. Everybody's going to get dragged into something in the Middle East. I mean, there could be some saber rattling for a while. It might look like it's going to grow and then kind of diminish. It looks like we might be able to squeeze out of it or something, on and off for a while longer. But it wouldn't surprise me if we're technically in World War III, and we just might not call it that for a little while yet, a couple more years or something. Just like World War II. It took 6 years to call it World War II. And the World War III, obviously, because of the difference in technology, it's going to be fought on different fronts. Think about this. If Iran gets kind of bombed out pretty good, and their oil contributions to China, which is really technically on the black market, it's not on the regular market. If they can't get all the oil that they use to China, then China could be buying out all the oil that they use from the regular market. And if that happens, the oil, which is on the regular market now, is about $85 a barrel, could go up to maybe $150 a barrel. Can you imagine how devastating that would be for the economy? I ain't kidding you. That could happen, and something like that is quite likely to happen. It really is. Take a look. It's a little cart. This is sort of like a free food box I go and visit once in a while. But yeah, that is totally something to think about. And I mean, I honestly believe that we are in World War III. We just, haven't called it World War III yet. Just like in World War II, it took 6 years before it was officially called World War II, even though it officially started, or technically started, in 1939. And like I say, man, if Iran now did airstrikes against Israel, and they're showing hostility. They've had a proxy war with the Hezbollah and Hamas and the other group down there in Yemen. Yeah, I think, there's going to be some trouble for Iran down the line, which is going to force China on the regular market for oil, and it's going to make the oil go up from $85 a barrel to, it could be $150 a barrel. And all that affects the electrical prices and everything, We haven't seen nothing yet. We've never seen hard times this generation. The last 3 generations probably hasn't seen any real hard times in this country. And we're all just too damn arrogant to say World War III started. And people are looking at the past and say we've always had wars. We've never had anything like this. Never had anything like this brewing. This is going to be worse than World War II. Without a doubt. It's going to be happening in so many different ways, too. It's not going to be just tanks and mustard gas and, machine guns and foxholes and muck and mud. And, it could have all sorts of different methods of fighting. It can have economic, and China can force it to happen, can force the economic changes. We're in for some serious changes in the world. There's no doubt. We won't even recognize people that are old enough, anyways, that are old enough to remember the 80s or the 70s or whatever. We're not even going to recognize the world in another 2 or 3 years, probably. It's pretty bad. You can't even hardly go to a grocery store anymore and get a teller. There's one teller per grocery store, generally, and all the rest is those kiosks. They don't let cash. They've already messed around and beta tested what they can do to us, with a pandemic, demic, sudden adult unalive syndrome. How about the social unrest, culture wars, and so forth? And we can't vote our way out of this. We are just in way too deep, no matter who the president of the U.S. is. We're not going to vote our way out. We're either going to see the biblical prophecies actually unfold, as they already started are in some aspects, in some areas of the scripture. I swear I'm looking at a newspaper. When I see the beginning of the first, I don't know, maybe six verses of chapter 12 of Zechariah, I'm just like, that is definitely where we are at. There is no way I could write off prophecy. Maybe, I get it, but I personally think something's going on a divine level, and I'm hoping. This is kind of what I've been waiting for. I just wish it would hurry up and get here, because I'm kind of tired of waiting. I just want to be a little more ready, and one thing's for sure, I want to be at peace when it's time for me to pass away. And I lay down and take my last long nap, I want to be at peace. And I want to be ready for what's coming, the next turn of events. This whole thing is kind of like, it's like, come on, hurry up and get here. I want it to hurry up and happen before I get old, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm just kind of hanging out and enjoying, the beautiful weather. But it's, the fact that they didn't call World War II until 1945, 6 years after it truly started. There's probably a lot of people for the first couple of years that doubted that it was actually going to happen, just like people are doubting now. I honestly think that we're in it. We just kind of started to cross. Once, Iran, once the Middle East started to go off the way it did, And it looks to me as some biblical prophecies, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, just thought I'd hang out and say hi. And just to add my 2 cents, you know, on what I think might be going on here, and, you know, and draw some conclusions. You know, those that don't remember the past are doomed to forget it, and we definitely don't want to be caught off guard by what might happen in the future. We might be realistic about, you know, seriously, if Iran gets messed up and they can't sell their oil on the black market to China, and China moves onto the regular market to get all their oil, it's going to drive, you know, the barrels of oil from 85 to could be 150 bucks or something, certainly 120 or something, which means the electrical prices are going up and everything else. You'll see the price of peanut, all this, everything that gets transported, you know, is affected by that. So you go to the, you know, store to get a jar of peanut butter, and it's like $4 now. If it's cheap, it might go up to $11, $12. I mean, this could happen literally in, we could wake up in a couple of days to a different world. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, but at the same time scary and, you know, uncertain. There's definitely something in the air. Part of me wants to, like, hurry up and get here. I want to see what happens. And part of me is like, well, you know, hopefully we'll dodge the bullet, another bullet, you know, for another year, you know. Well, anyways, for sure I want to be at peace when it's time for me to go. All right. Yeah, I've gone through definitely some, you know, another seasonal transition through this the whole stretch that I've been at the place that I'm staying at right now. But I'm starting to pull out of it. I'm still a bit in the physical slumps. I just have not had the real energy that I need to start regular training, but I think I'm on the verge. I'm kind of like in between these buildings. Somebody's apartment up there. I think maybe I can see the moon. Is that the moon? Yeah, it's the moon. And I'm not so fond of this town. Of all the towns that I go to, this is the one I like the least. But this is the area where I got my my storage unit. This town, it's about 5 miles from here. So during the winter time, this is where I go. I couldn't handle being up in St. Mary's. It's too much of a sportsman's paradise up there through the winter, you know. I mean, I think hunting lasts until the middle of January, so I just went on and on and on. It's kind of a cute little spot. Hippie stuff. You know, I'm not into that anymore. I used to be into hippie stuff and smoking. I still have a little bit of a problem with alcohol. I don't have a real alcoholic problem, but every now and then I just feel like I call it changing the channel. I get too tired of sobriety. I go for 3 or 4 months and drink, and then I get kind of sick. I feel like it's been, like it poisons me. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi and take my viewers on a walk, and it's sort of like my video diary, you know. So even if nobody watches it, I mean, I hope somebody likes me or whatever. But you know, it's not the intent as much as it is like for my own personal video diary thing, because that's kind of important. All of us should probably, I don't know, remember the days of our lives, you know, like the soap opera from a long time ago said, like sands of the hourglass, these are the days of our lives. Anyway, I guess I'm going to say over and out for now.